the Cosmic Librarian Podcast, your source for spiritual and holistic wisdom. I'm Lily, the Cosmic Librarian, coming to you every week with a wealth of spiritual, metaphysical, and holistic information. Join me to expand your horizons of universal understanding and to get free literary gifts. Yes, I'll be giving away every book that I feature on my show. If you want to heal your body, mind, and spirit, if you want to manifest miracles into your life, if you want to learn the wisdom and secrets of the universe, if you want to delve into spirituality so that you can become a better human, and if you want free books, you've come to the right place. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Cosmic Librarian Podcast, your source for spiritual and holistic wisdom. I'm your host, Lily Stellar, and I'm so glad to be back with you this week. It's been a few weeks, I know. I keep saying I'm going to do it every week. I know consistency is so important. I am doing my best, I promise you. And honestly, the reason that I didn't come back last week was because I was still reading the book that I'm going to be talking about with you today. It actually took me like almost 2 weeks. I finished it up this morning. So that's one of the reasons for the delay. Also, we've just been in like an incredible heat wave everywhere. And you know, when it's like 90 degrees and you have no air conditioning, it really doesn't make you want to do things. So yeah, I've been a little demotivated, but it's kind of given me time to rest and to listen to this book and take in a lot of this information. And now I have the energy to actually apply it into my life, which is so exciting. So this book is kind of an odd one because I was listening to it on audiobook. And the reason I was listening to it on audiobook is because I have a copy of a book here that I wanted to read. And then when I went to go look it up, it turns out it had been republished under a new name and a new ISBN number and was like a completely different reissued book. So I was like, well, I want to read it. So I read the new edition on audiobook. But when I went to check my bookshelves, I only have the old edition with the old name. Still, it's such an awesome book that I want to talk to you guys about it. And I'll even have a little bonus at the end for anyone who wants this book. So, the name of this book, I'll show you the e-audio version, is called Chill and Prosper. Okay? Chill and Prosper. By Denise Duffield-Thomas. She is an Australian entrepreneur who has made over $20 million in her online business. And she has written, I believe this is her third book, or fourth if you count it as a reissue, book about what she does. I've read two of the other ones. One's called Lucky Bitch. And the second one is called Get Rich Lucky Bitch. And this is the third one. It originally came out under the title Chillpreneur. And it says the new rules for creating success, freedom, and abundance on your terms. Denise Duffield-Thomas. Okay. So this was from 2019. And last year in 2021, she published the new version of the book called Chill and Prosper. I should have known because I worked on the book, but I didn't, because I was like really new to the company then, and I didn't know that it was a reissue of an old book. So anyhow, long story short, I am going to be kind of showing you examples from this book because they're almost exactly the same. Most of the stuff that's been updated, she says, are things to do with the pandemic, because obviously between 2019 and 2021 that happened and changed the way a lot of us do business in the online space. And also to update like her life. Like she had kids, they've grown a little bit, so she kind of updated things. And also she talks about how she got diagnosed with adult ADHD in between writing this book and rewriting the next one. So she talks a lot about how the things that she talks about doing in this book are actually beneficial for entrepreneurs with ADHD, because a lot of us, myself included, feel that that's a limitation in wanting to be an entrepreneur, that we have trouble concentrating on tasks, that we have trouble with consistency, that we have trouble with remembering we got to do something every single day, every single week, and juggling and managing all of these different tasks that you have to have the ability to do as an entrepreneur. She shows you how those can be reframed from weaknesses into strengths, and shows you how she does things in a system that works for her that could also work for other ADHD entrepreneurs. So the book starts out talking about, what is a chillpreneur? Basically, it's the concept of working less and making more money. This is not a new concept. However, this is a good, 180 degrees from the hustle culture I think that a lot of us have been raised in most of our lives. And if not raised in all of our lives, then especially in the last few years, trying to be a business owner in the online space, trying to be a heart-forward, heart-centered, spiritual entrepreneur especially, has become a completely different world. And there's a whole lot of different rules when you're working in that space. And it's been all about hustle, work hard, you're going to make more money. But what people are finding is when you put your business online, when you put in strategies and put in support systems and automate a lot of things, that you actually don't have to work harder in order to make more money. And she's not the only one saying this right now even. I think that a lot of pivot has come recently from hustle culture into this chill culture of being able to make money while doing what you actually love. Instead of this idea that you just have to do something to make money and do what you love in your free time and don't expect to actually make any money off of it. So there's a lot of people in the online marketing space right now in this pivot talking about this, especially after the pandemic, when so many of these online entrepreneurs were all of a sudden having to be, stay-at-home parents, homeschooling parents, teaching their kids when they, were used to running webinars every week and, typing out long form emails for their growing list and all these things that business owners would do before. So I love how this book talks about, what it is to finally change your mindset from hustle culture to this, what she calls this chillpreneur or chill and prosper mindset. A lot of it is the mindset, the beliefs that you have about business, the beliefs that you have about work, the beliefs that you have about making money. A lot of times, if you were not raised in a household with healthy relationships with money, me again, we're not taught how to believe in ourselves and how to believe that our business is going to succeed and how to believe the money's going to come and how to just, trust in the universe to provide for us, that when we're doing the thing that we love and that we're most passionate about and that we're most lit up about, that the money's going to come. So that's really the first step, is changing your mindset. So that's where the first few chapters, the first section of it goes into, is mindset. She talks about how business is a game, just like life. You learn how to play the game. you have to practice at it. You have to work at it. Just like if you want to go play the game of baseball, it's not like you can just walk in there the first time you've ever held a bat and expect to hit a home run. You have to learn how to play. You have to work at it. You have to practice. You have to show up and keep going and be persistent no matter what. And that is like the number one thing in business. And she goes on to talk about what millionaires do. The millionaire lessons of mindset and of practices in daily life. And you would honestly be surprised at how many of these millionaires have the mindset of, I just knew I was going to succeed. I just knew it. And then I did everything I had to do to succeed, but I knew I was going to succeed first. And that's the kind of confidence and surety and that mindset that you have to have before you can even progress, right? Because if you don't believe that you can make $1 million in a year, you're not going to make $1 million in a year, because you won't do the things that you need to do in order to make the $1 million, because you don't believe it's going to work anyway. Kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it also has to do with mindset. It all still comes back to the energy that you're putting out into the universe about your business. Now, the second thing she talks about is the business model itself. And I love that she doesn't just stop with the energetics. She's like, yeah, you have to believe. You have to know that you're going to be rich. You have to want to be rich. It's okay to want a Gucci bag. It's okay if you don't. But just know what you want. And then she goes on to tell you about how to actually build a business that'll make millions of dollars. So the second section is called Business Models. And it talks about how she's set up all these automated systems in her life and her business to make things easier for her, so she doesn't have to work so hard. And she also talks about, hiring people when you have the budget for it to delegate some of those tasks that maybe you're not that great at. So for me, for example, I'm really great at creative things. I'm not really great at the consistency part, right? So it would benefit me as an entrepreneur to have like a virtual assistant who could do things like remind me to post my podcast and update my website and post on all my social medias every day. And it would even benefit me to have a social media manager to do all that for me, because I don't really have the time. And she also talks about, don't hire people before you're ready either. Don't spend outside of your budget. If you're not making money doing what you're doing right now, obviously you can't spend the money to hire somebody to do it for you. So she talks about how all these things can work together to take less work off of take work off of your plate and give you less work, while still maintaining the systems that you need on the front end to sell to your customers and on the back end to receive the money. And she talks about everything from making sure you have your sales page up and that it's easy to find. Your buy now button is big and easy to click and people don't get lost in your sales funnel, practical things like that. Section 3, she talks about pricing. Money, as in how you receive money, how to price your projects, how to price your courses, whatever it is that you're building, and how to have some of the more like awkward money conversations that you may have to have as a business owner. So, pricing is a thing that a lot of entrepreneurs have problem with. We don't always have a great example to show us of what somebody else is charging for the exact same thing that we are doing, or there may not be really anybody who can do exactly what we can do, so we're not sure how to price things. And I love it because she really talks about how arbitrary online pricing is. There's so much has to do with just how you're seen in the industry as to how much you can charge. And a lot of that just has to do with how you're presenting yourself out and your brand. You know, are you branding yourself as an expert? Are you branding yourself as an authority figure who can charge premium prices because you know what you're talking about? Is this something that you know enough about to be charging premium prices, or should you be charging lower prices while you're still learning? So they're all things to consider. She even talks about what happens when people want refunds? What happens when people don't pay me? What do I do in this situation? And she has a whole bunch of scripts written out, which are amazing, because like if you have somebody who defaulted on their payment plan, there's an easy script to follow, to just take, to type up, customize it to your customer, and send it off without having to feel awkward about having to bring up, hey, your payment didn't go through again this month. So it's really, really beneficial to have this book. I think to have a physical copy, even better than having the e-audio, which is fine. I mean, you can have the e-audio, and they have a supplement PDF you can download. But it's just really valuable to have this here because you have all these scripts. Because, you know, if you want to increase prices, here's another one. Here's a script for how to do it. If you want to transition a freebie client into a paying client, here's a script for it. It's really, really useful info. The last section of the book is about marketing, which is so great because for me as a spiritual entrepreneur, marketing and money are like the hardest things for me to deal with. So I love that she put those kind of at the end. Because they're the most important, and it also like builds up to that point. It's like, okay, I can deal with the energetics. I can deal with how to build out a system. Okay, I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable talking about money, and wow, now we're already into marketing. Okay, this is a little scary for me right now, me personally, as a creative entrepreneur. Marketing is terrifying because I never know what I'm doing. I'm always just second guessing myself because like, are they going to like it? Are they not going to like it? Is this going to work? Is this not going to work? And she really takes a lot of that fear out of it and talks about how you're just presenting yourself out into the world, like I said, and people are going to buy from you or not buy from you based on how your brand is presented. And marketing, all it is creating offers and telling people about them. You create an offer. For me, I have a new book course coming up. It's all about publishing for people who have already written a book and want to publish it because I have all this self-publishing experience. So for me, all I have to do is create the offer, which is my Cosmic Creation course, and then tell people about it and share what I do. And if they want it, they'll come and ask me for it. If they want it, they'll come and find a way to pay me for my services. And it takes a lot of the pressure off of like, I always felt like I was trying to whore myself out when I was doing marketing. But I think that was because I didn't really feel truly aligned with what I was trying to market. At one point I was selling essential oils. I was selling, household products. I was doing spiritual coaching. I was doing like religious trauma recovery coaching. I've done one-on-one book clients for a lot of years. And it's always been one of those things that just terrified me, was to talk about my offers, was to say, hey, I'm an expert in this. Hire me. I can help you with this. Take my course. Now that I'm doing a course, I'm creating a course that is fully aligned with like who I am and my expertise and everything that I've been doing for the last 11 years. It's like my confidence level has increased and I don't have those fears anymore about sharing what I'm offering. And I think that's a big part of it. yeah, you just create offers and share them, but they have to be aligned offers. And she talks about that. If they're not aligned offers, then nobody's going to buy them because they're going to know, they're going to feel your fear about teaching the course. If that makes sense. People can sense that thing, and they may not say it outright. They may say, wow, you're doing such a great job. Look at you out there doing it. You're killing it. But in the back of their minds, they're like, I just don't think that they're qualified to be teaching that. Because they can feel your energy that you don't feel qualified to be teaching it. You know, so with my book course, for example, this is something I've been doing for 12 years. And I know my shit, and I'm very confident in that. And so I don't have that worry that I did when I was doing, for example, religious trauma coaching. I was, you know, when I was putting this out there as my, you know, I'm the cosmic coach. I do religious trauma coaching. I help people who have been traumatized by religions to find a new path to spirituality. I was constantly in fear that someone would come to me with some kind of trauma that I wasn't able to deal with, and I couldn't help them, and they would not trust me, and they would not be able to pay me or not want to pay me, and they want their money back or whatever. Well, that's because, I mean, honestly, I don't feel qualified to do that. As much as I care about people who are coming out of religious trauma, and I identify with those people, and I want to help them, I didn't feel 100% qualified to be doing it. So now that I'm back into my zone of expertise, I know exactly what I'm doing. I have the utmost confidence in being able to teach people what I'm doing. People can sense that. And I was able to make sales within the first week of just posting about like a pre-launch, like, hey, I'm going to be doing this course finally. I've been talking about forever. You guys want in? I had 2 sales within like a week, where I had not sold, you know, any of these spiritual coaching packages before. And that I love how Denise talks about aligned offers and how marketing doesn't have to be so scary once you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Once you're really fulfilling your purpose, once you're creating things that make you feel alive and make you feel aligned. So I have 2 copies of Chillpreneur, but like I said, this is the old edition, and I want to hook you up with the new edition. So for the first person who claims this book, I'm going to have Hay House send you a brand new copy of Chill and Prosper. I think it's only available as a paperback. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. I can check on that. But I will have them mail it directly to you, since I don't have a copy personally, and I want you to have the most up-to-date version of the book. Again, like I said, this is really, really close. It just has a few updates. So, you know, even if you get this copy of the book, it's not like you're missing out on a lot. So for the second and third people who claim the book, you'll get a copy of Chillpreneur. The really great news is there's also a lot of resources on Denise's website. And there's the audiobook version, which you can listen to on the Empower You audio app, which is put out by Hay House. Not sponsored. I just really like the app. I listen to it almost every day. And it's unlimited. So like you pay a subscription and you can listen to as many books as you want within a month. I highly recommend it because I listen, like I said, every single day. I'm listening to new books. That's where I get a lot of this inspiration for my podcast. I just listen to the books on my bookshelf and then I give them to you. And you can see I have been giving away books. Like I have blank spaces on my bookshelf. I'm so proud of myself. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, it's exciting getting rid of these books. All the boxes out from under my bed are gone. So claim this copy of Chillpreneur or Chill and Prosper. If you're the first one, you get Chill and Prosper. Go to my website, lilypenhall.us. Look for the book cover. I'll put this book cover since that's what I have on the video, so it won't be so confusing. But then I'll also have like both book covers, so you'll be able to see what the other one looks like. Go to my website, claim the book. It's free. All you have to do is pay for shipping, media mail. I think it's like $3.50 or $4 or something. It's really not that much. And then I will send you out the free book, and share this with anybody who you know who is an entrepreneur, who is an online entrepreneur in the spiritual space, or any of these heart-centered, heart-forward coaching type of people, because this is really who this book is for. Denise is an amazing source of inspiration and information. So please share it with anybody you know who you think would benefit from it. And I'm going to be back next week, I hope, with another book that is more focused on health instead of wealth. And we'll talk about food addictions and how breaking them is going to change your whole life. Something I need to do. So, thank you so much for being with me today on another episode of the Cosmic Librarian Podcast. I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Librarian Podcast. Tune in next week for another chance to claim a free book about spirituality and holistic wisdom. Please like, subscribe, follow, and share this podcast with your book-loving friends. When we share, everyone wins.